Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Ohio, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Illinois. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, and enter your city or zip to find the closest location nearest you.
We are gold for energy. Send it. Incoming. Put the money in the bag, man.
As I said, your paycheck is your thank you.
What's going on back there? This is awesome! Welcome to Earth! No. Who's flying the plane? Get cockpit. Go. God.
Black Rifle Energy, dropping near you.
Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by OmahaSteaks.com. Yeah, welcome to Drinkin Bros, kids. Friday afternoon show. It's definitely going to be a wild one. It has been a very wild and surreal week. Our good friend Isaac Butterfield is here. Thank you from Australia. You flew all the way out here. You got gigs tonight. Where at?
Yeah, I'm at the Vulcan in Austin tonight. I'm in the Hollywood Improv next week and at Stand Up New York.
Okay,
New York
great.
The week after that. So IsaacButterfield.com for those tickets.
Awesome. And with the Vulcan, are you doing every single night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
No, just one night. This is my sort of introduction to the United States. I finally got a working visa. I can finally do shows here. So I'm taking one step at a time. I've brought the young family over.
I saw them the other day, man. It's great.
Beautiful.
Congratulations.
That's my son's third trip to the United States, and he's 2.5. He loves it here. It's fantastic.
I'm sure he does.
Well, we love it here. We want to move here, but at the moment, it's hard with a tiny child. You need the family back at home to help out and all that type of stuff. But one day, we will become, I don't know, Mexicans or something. We'll be right.
Sure, yeah. You'll be white Mexicans.
Yeah.
I get it. You'll be honky Mexicans.
Exactly.
It's fine.
Why
Snow
not?
Mexicans.
Why not? But what a week it has been. It has been absolutely insane.
It has, and I want to explain to the audience kind of what's going on here today. Because first of all, you're going to get an extra show this week. This is a total bonus show. Isaac was actually supposed to be our guest on Wednesday when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So we had already pre-recorded another show, one of your requests, and ours, Lil Man Jay. That will now air on Sunday nights. And so you'll get an extra show next week as well. One of the most talented country musicians we've ever had. He plays live on the show, multiple songs. That was your request. Thank you for doing that because, my God, man, to see that guy's talent in person was amazing. But what I said to you was, hey, come back on Friday. We'll do the show and everything else. Dan had to fly to North Carolina for some business stuff. I guess I'll just tell you this. We got 26 death threats after the Charlie Kirk incidents.
Really?
Yes. We chatted with the police and everybody else and turned in all the necessary materials. Obviously, not that we care. We've got enough guns in here to have a party, to have a good time. So we don't really give a shit about that. However, that is the precaution you have to take.
You do.
And all that other stuff. So I said, hey, come back on Friday. I'll be here. I'll do the show with you. Dan can do what Dan does, which is plan everything out, for the future.
What does Dan do? I don't know Dan well enough. I've met him twice in my life. What does he do?
He makes a lot of logistic plans for us, and he works with a lot of people in D.C.
Right.
And some other companies, and I thought I'll leave it at
Very
that.
good. See, I've had to implement this stuff into my own existence back in Australia because of the multitude of threats that I've had over the years. I
was just going to say, man, because you were just as controversial as the rest of us.
Sure.
And I would imagine you've had 1 million death threats as well.
Man, when I've been cancelled about 6 or 7 times. Mini cancellations, big ones, sponsors pulling out. The TikTok took down my account.
I mean, they ripped everything from you.
Nearly 1 million. I nearly had 1 million followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
And they had a meeting in Australia about me. They sat down. TikTok Australia said, "What are we going to do with this guy?" And the unanimous decision was, we need to get rid of him. He's a danger. He's spreading all these far right.
Did the government say this, or was it
No,
TikTok
this is TikTok
themselves?
Australia.
Okay.
But it would not surprise me if someone, somewhere had something to do with something, because
well, it's happening in Nepal right now, which is why I ask.
The government in Australia. Well, okay.
Yeah, they got rid of Parliament, stripped down the president buck naked, and threw him in the fucking river.
The Australian government is extremely left leaning, and they are influenced heavily by their sort of politics. But regrettably, our more right leaning government is extremely hard on free speech in a very negative way. They want to censor people too. So both parties, both sides of the aisle, are very much on the same side when it comes to censoring our people in Australia. And it is bad. It's getting to the point now where there's a new law in New South Wales where if you incite hatred because of someone's religion, ethno-religious background, or race, and remember that inciting violence is a very, or hatred is a very, it can mean anything. You can be charged criminally, not civilly, but criminally. And at the bottom of the legislation, it basically says that no one is exempt from this. There is no license for comedians or satire or anything like that. No one is protected from being charged with this law. So it's the same with with social media laws in Australia. Anyway.
Well,
I could go on,
when you got the death threats,
Yeah.
What happened, and did you take them seriously? So, in all sincerity, where Dan is right now is we have live shows coming up.
Yep.
In the future, we've got, I think, 3 in the next month.
Sure.
6 weeks, somewhere in there. And for the first time ever, we're going to take some people with us.
Okay.
And that has never happened to us in 10 years. We've been on for 10 years.
Yeah.
But this happened to a few years ago.
Yeah, I had a joke.
What did you do?
Well, there was a Jewish joke that got me. I made a joke about the Jews prior to it being cool. Right? that was the thing.
Now everybody does.
But this is the problem was when I made the joke, I was just fucking around. I wasn't being serious, and now that everyone's been serious about it, I'm like, oh, geez. I feel really, I'm like, no, that's not me. Anyway, that got me cancelled. They were talking about it in the Israel Times, something. Anyway, and then there was
I remember all the stories.
There was a joke about
because that's how we first met you when you came on.
Right.
It was right after that.
There was the Christchurch massacre that I had a
Correct.
joke about. That was the most death threats. That was about 56,000 angry DMs on Instagram, and I'm not being hyperbolic there. That was around the number. It was absolutely crazy because I had to
I'm
delete.
almost sad now we didn't get as many as you.
They weren't all death threats, but a lot of them were,
Okay.
and they were all very angry people. There was an Aboriginal joke that I didn't get as many death threats. I got some guy tried to fight me at a coffee shop. That was about it. And he said he only didn't, he's not going to bash me because my wife was there and she was pregnant at the time and all that type of stuff. I was like, okay, mate.
But also, you're a really big dude in person, and I think a lot of this shit when they meet you in person, they're like, oh, I don't want to fuck with you.
And also, they meet me and they realize that I'm just a dad. And I just say horrible things on stage because they're humorous.
Right.
That's the whole point of it.
Same with what we do.
Yeah, we're
not racist. We're
just mucking around.
Yes.
That's all it is.
That's it.
So I got taken to the Human Rights Commission in Australia because of that joke about Aboriginal people. One lady was so upset, and she said that this was the quote from the Manila folder I was handed by the postman. It was declaring that I had to appear in front of this court. It said that she feared for her life and her family's life because of these jokes that were on TikTok. Yeah. So that was great. That was 2 years of lawyers and all this type of stuff. And it was pretty hectic. But, a lot of death threats, a lot of angry people, most of which I don't take seriously. But if what happened to Charlie is anything to go by, particularly with things like meet and greets. Not everyone's going to get hit by a fucking sniper, but
Sure.
How many photos do you get with people, and how close are they to
We
you?
do them every weekend. And the exact same tent that he was under, we have. It's rolled up right behind you that we travel with usually.
Yeah.
And to this point, what I was talking about, Dan, about earlier with security and things like that, how this never happens. Rogan, first time I was here, and we were planning on moving and all this other stuff. We were at the same restaurant, and I noticed, he had 3 or 4 security guards with him.
Yeah.
And I remarked to somebody I was with, I was like, is this necessary? And because Joe himself could fucking destroy anyone.
Yeah.
However, he's, a jiu-jitsu guy. He's not, if somebody pulls out a gun, there's nothing you can do in a
There's
restaurant,
a gun
right?
or there's a knife or
Totally.
whatever.
So
know?
I understood it, and I understand how famous he is and all the other stuff, plus the controversy surrounding him.
Yeah.
And when it happens to you, you're like, oh shit, all right, I got kids, I got a wife, I got all this stuff, and sure, if we got 3 or 4 people that are traveling with us, not a bad idea.
Yeah, I had to employ people. I employed people here, now, and it's just part and parcel with the game that we're in, unfortunately. And it's funny because you don't see it, and I'm not like a mad far right, even though people will call me far right because I make jokes that may be offensive, but and I disagree with some progressive politics. I've always liked to think of myself as somewhere in the middle, take the best from both sides, which now means you're towards the right, and I agree with that.
I always say balls and strikes here,
Sure.
and because there's Republicans I hate, there's Democrats I
Yeah,
hate.
you can't it's not a religion.
No,
You
no.
don't need to buy into absolutely everything.
And you're not going to agree with every bill. You're not going to agree with every single decision. And also, we're not doing the job.
No.
Like, it's their job, not ours. So, yeah, I can armchair quarterback it here on a podcast, and that's fine. But I'm not the one out there changing the law and actually getting it done and doing the door-to-door meet and greets and the babies and the rallies and all that other stuff.
Yeah. And what I was going to say was that they seem to be all, when it comes to violence, somewhere on that fringe left. These people who are committing these violence against people or calling for violence. Now, I'm sure there's people on the right that are calling for violence too from their homes, and they're carrying on and they're, sending death threats to people. But it's so vocal it is almost mainstream for people who are progressive voices in the left-wing space to mention violence when it comes to people who say things that they don't agree with. And I think that's what leads to what happened on Wednesday.
Yeah, I agree, and it's tough to figure out. So let's go over the shooter who was just apprehended. Bob, if you can pull him up, they have caught him. What is his name?
Tyler Robinson.
Tyler Robinson was the guy that shot. That's the most whitest name of all time.
Which, ironically, I was about to say that basically.
But it's also a common name, so I'm sure there's like 50,000.
Seen a lot of posts today being like, dude, don't be like hunting for Tyler Robinson on the internet. It's like there's a million people named Tyler Robinson.
A million, especially whites. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Now, to my knowledge, Bob, he was, his father was in law enforcement.
Father was a sheriff for 27 years.
Man.
This is,
and he turned him in, correct?
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah. That's the what they're saying right now. Yeah,
right there. Yeah, that's him. As soon as I saw that picture, I knew he was a first responder or a veteran, just because of the T-shirt.
Apparently, he detained him and then turned him in, whatever that means for a father to a son. And it's crazy to think that that's what's transpired there. And whether or not that's him trying to protect him, get him into jail so he, protective custody so he can keep seeing him. Because if the people found out who it was, I know there's a lot of people on 4chan that were talking about trying to hunt this person down and Twitter and all that type of stuff. So, and the FBI looking for you. But yeah, very, very, a massive moment for a father to turn their own son in, because there must be so much going through your mind.
I have 3 kids. I met your daughter the other day. Bob, you've got 3 kids as well.
Mine's a son.
Yeah, I've got 2 boys and I got a girl. Bob's got 3.
No, I
boys.
was just saying, I've got a boy.
You've got a boy.
He's just got long hair.
I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
We announced his gender a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, good.
We haven't told him yet, but
that's crazy hair.
Oh, yeah.
My kids didn't have that long.
Particularly for me. I used to have like longish hair, but now it's not so much.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
And blonde hair too, but things have changed.
Yeah, I did too.
Things have changed.
I did too. Yeah. That's funny. No, my kids couldn't grow their hair that long. So
yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. There's not many that can. That's a gift.
And he's only 2.5.
That's
and
great
it's
hair.
So long.
Yes.
It's the best hair. It's
That's
ridiculous.
like the greatest hair of all time on your child.
He's a good man.
But with that, imagine the pain and anguish as a father, knowing you're sending your son to jail. Obviously, if he worked as a sheriff, like
he knows
you
what
grew
to
up
do.
with values and all that other shit, and you you know right from wrong. Like,
Yeah.
there's just no way that this guy raised this kid. I mean, you're looking at the picture here, Bob. Like,
No,
you know,
apparently he was really good grades, like normal kid, very loving parents. This is like, and I don't think mental health history either, but I don't know that.
I mean, he's so young. Maybe it's the first time he's sort of encountering it too.
Yeah, well, I mean, the shooter, the trans shooter in Minneapolis, like 2 weeks ago, the same age, I think, 22, 23. Deep history of mental illness.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying like just the trans thing, like
totally
a lot of red flags mental illness wise. This, from what I've seen, it's early. The information's pouring out. Who knows what's good, not. Seemed like a normie.
And I'll go ahead and read what I know right now. And again, all this information is happening as it's coming in. The suspected killer of Charlie Kirk claimed the conservative influencer was full of hate in a chilling speech during a family dinner just before the murder, according to officials. Tyler Robinson, 22, was identified as the suspect and then taken into authorities by his own father here. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th. And in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to his college. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints he had. The family member also stated that Kirk said that he was full of hate and spreading hate. And it comes after Kirk warned he would 100% would be killed in a chilling omen before his assassination. I saw that video the other day. There's also another one circulating of Charlie saying what happened if you were to be killed. And he had a very poignant message about going to heaven and God and everything else. So this is a wild one. Robinson, this guy, Bob, if you want to pop him up on screen, you can pop up the single. I don't know, the dad. That sucks, man. The dad had nothing to do. There's the mugshot right there. He looks like a young Beto O'Rourke for the audio listeners, by the way. Robinson had indicated to a family friend afterwards that he was responsible for the killing. He also cited engravings on bullets found in a rifle used in the attack, as well as chatting app messages attributed to the accused shooter that a roommate shared with law enforcement right after the shooting.
Are those bullet casings, are the messages confirmed on there by the FBI? Or
Yes,
is that just,
the governor announced it. If you want me to read those.
Yeah, they're really interesting and they're quite telling.
Yeah, go ahead. Because I haven't seen those yet, Bob.
There's a lot of back and forth on Twitter right now saying that this young dude was a Republican, that he was Christian, that he was a gun lover and all this type of stuff. And I think that the casings are probably some of the best evidence right now to suggest that that's not the case.
Okay. Do you have that clip, Bob? Go ahead and play it.
Yeah, hold on. This is Utah Governor Mike Cox, I think. Cox is his last name for sure.
Bob, did you laugh at the name Cox?
Spencer Cox, sorry.
Was it Cox that got you today on a Friday? I'm not going to blame you. You were supposed to have
I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. I have great respect for the last name COX.
All right, go ahead and play it.
Been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow, Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
So what does Bella Chow mean?
It's from a Netflix show, Money Heist. This dude is the most 4chan incel I've ever heard of with all of those references. Jesus Christ, bro.
Really?
What's that reference? Because it's also an anti-fascist song
Italian
from the
song.
40s.
So yeah, it was used in Money Heist most recently. That's where it's gained popularity with this generation.
Gotcha.
But in the same context of like where people fighting back against oppression.
What do they do in that show? I don't even know.
They rob money from the Spanish bank, or like a whole bunch of gold or something like
I
that.
heard it's awesome, by the way.
It is pretty good, honestly.
Yeah. I heard it's pretty good, but What a bizarre.
Yeah, and he put uwu on there, which is like an anime reference.
Yeah,
OWO is uwu.
So I'll show you the.
Thank God we've got young Ryan here. We got
got
a
you
young
guys.
generation, guys. I don't know any of this.
This
was way off.
This is the meme. Let me find it. Yeah, this is the meme based from the bulge engraving.
Okay.
It's like a 12-year-old meme. My parent, according to Know Your Meme.
Yeah, this is old 4chan stuff. Like, Jesus Christ, 2014-ish.
Oh, wow. So he grew up on it. Well, I would imagine a lot of people. I was going to say, that was my next question. I bet you did too, right? I did not. Like,
That's how I found
didn't have
out
any of this shit.
I found out about Bitcoin in 2012 thanks to 4chan.
Do you have Bitcoin?
I mined 2 at that time. I sold them when it was $500 a coin. I regret that decision to this day.
Wow.
Shit.
Wow. Yeah, I had it at 8,000. I regret it too now. But with all this, is this what's going to happen now to this upcoming generation? Or
Well, I think it comes down to the algorithm you get sucked into, right? Like if this dude's, prowling on 4chan and he gets caught in the wrong algorithm with all of these left-wing people who look, and I'm talking far left. Like you could be left-wing all day, you can be right-wing all day, but we're talking mad people. And the shit that gets like thrown around on 4chan, Reddit, not so much Twitter anymore, but well, at least from the left-hand side, you can get caught, TikTok as well, you get caught in these algorithms and it defines your personality. It's who you become. And it's almost like it acts like with these young kids like a parent. And that's who you start to emulate. And if you get caught right in the deep, waters of this stuff, you can go either way. And you can go from a very mild-mannered, normal human being to someone who is a murderer.
Yeah.
Very easily.
And let's take yesterday, for example. During the show, somebody had referenced this person named Sky Valdez or something like that. And I saw people posting it and all that other shit, and people were asking us to talk about it. And apparently on 4chan, this was who they identified as a shooter. And like, oh, we got the guy, and this is definitely the guy, and this is the guy, and it's a trans, this is a fucking dude, and everything else. And they're like, why won't you guys talk about this? And I got a million DMs after the show, and I said, I cannot confirm this.
No, and you can't just
the
go and ruin
FBI,
someone's life.
Yes, exactly. And I go, the FBI has not confirmed this.
Yeah.
The president has not confirmed this. I'm not going to go on with somebody else's weird speculation and try to match up pictures and look at earlobes because that's how far it was going.
Yeah.
But let's say you were sucked into that. And you believe that this was the person, you went all in on this, because this is like the third or fourth time this has happened in the last couple of years, just on this show, that Redditors have, sleuths have solved the case that was incorrect. It was not true. And that was clearly untrue. Even yesterday, that's why we didn't report on it.
Even the half of the report from the ATF or whatever that leaked yesterday that had anti-fascist and pro-trans stuff on the bullets. There was no pro-trans stuff. It was just anti-fascist stuff, allegedly.
On the bullets, you say?
Yeah, on the casings. Yesterday, that was the report.
Right. So I guess that was on the magazines. That was written on the magazines. They recovered or some bullshit.
Okay.
But look, Bob, I'm with you here. I don't know, so therefore I'm not going to say it.
Do you remember, yesterday was 9/11, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the morning or the afternoon of 9/11? The initial death estimates were like 20 to 30,000.
Oh,
really?
I'll go further than that. Well, I was in Los Angeles at the time.
Yeah, wow.
And my roommate woke me up, and those planes were heading to Los Angeles. So our local newscasters got on air and said, these planes are coming for L.A. We don't know where they're going to land. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know where they're crashing into. They started speculating about federal buildings and things like that, which was near me, but further enough away. And I remember huddling up with, at the time, I had just moved there, and it was all of our friends from school, and we just kind of huddled in my buddy's apartment, drank, and just stared at the news for days and days and days. But none of it was true either. And then I don't think we got full confirmation until maybe the 6 o'clock news that night that all flights were grounded. No, a plane is not going to crash into your neighborhood or building or whatever the fuck it is. And I was like, why the fuck report that, I guess? Because there's nothing I can do about it. What I can do about a plane in the sky?
Yeah, well, 100%. But they're desperate to report the news. And I think it's worse now because we're in this clickbait generation where the news has become like me, a YouTuber, where they're trying to drag people into a story. Mm-hmm. And they will just report anything. And I don't think that people really, even journalists on X and people who consider themselves journalists, they don't think about the the real hazard that they bring into people's lives when they say, oh, it's this person. And even though that person might be a crazy person, a bad person, whatever, you can't just, run out there and say, this is exactly who it is, because that's when this mob mentality kicks off and then everyone wants blood and someone innocent gets taken out.
I remember exactly who it was, Bob. It was the person who flew into the plane at D.C. Remember, it was trans pilots for the military?
Yeah.
That was not true either.
Oh, yeah.
And people were asking us this is who it is. And I was like, I have no idea.
The collision with the helicopter and the American Airlines flight.
It was a woman, a real one, not anything trans or anything else, and it was a mistake. It wasn't, initially it was reported it was a trans, and they're trying to suicide and kill these people and all this other shit. And since then, the FAA reports have come out that it was an accident and
but then
tragic
people,
one.
if you
But that person's life was ruined for 4 days. They
a lot of other people probably are still thinking that it's that person.
Because you go to the next day and you're like, all right, cool, man. I get soccer or whatever
You
the fuck
don't hear
it is
the update.
today.
But also, even if you say that the FAA came out and said that, people go, yeah, it's cover up.
Right.
Because everything's a conspiracy, and conspiracies they're important, and we should look into things. But I don't know. My dad's like that. Everything's a conspiracy, and he's at that age where everything's a conspiracy. And you hear him, and he calls me, and you just it's hours of listening to this, mate. This is the vibrations you need to get.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't have time for this. What are you talking about? But yeah, it must be scary.
I'm on a text thread with my friends from college, and they were asking me because they're like, "Hey, man, you guys know everything before it happens. It seems like, what is this?" And I go, "I want to be clear. This isn't a conspiracy. This wasn't. It does not appear. It certainly does not appear that this was, somebody brainwashed by the CIA and they got this guy and all this other shit." I go, "We had Rob O'Neill on the show yesterday, who killed Bin Laden, and we were discussing this and." He had said the same thing that another friend of ours was on another podcast, Justin, build the wall, govern all, had said, where he goes, as a sniper, you're trained to shoot for the head or the heart. And he's just like, dude, the neck that's somebody who's a terrible shot. Like that,
And in most cases would have missed.
Right. In this case, just happened to do what it needed to do.
Yeah.
But they had missed the target. So, no, I do not think this was a conspiracy. The Trump thing, sure. I'll entertain that all goddamn day.
Yeah.
Because
there's a lot more to talk about there.
Right. You get 5 international cell phones. They cremate the body. Nobody decides to do anything.
The house is wiped, yeah.
Everything was wiped. And you're like,
strange.
all right, that one I'll
Something
entertain.
stinks, yeah.
But not every single thing is that bad. I think this was clearly, in my opinion, just a case of, I hate your ideas. And I'm going to fucking kill you.
And there's enough people in comment sections all over the world that speak like that. They're like, I hate
All
this
the time.
person. This is the worst person. You need to die, all this type of crazy stuff. So for someone to actually act it out and do it, it's not far-fetched at all. Not even slightly.
So can we go dark here?
We can go dark.
All right. What would you have done if that was your kid?
I wouldn't have turned him in. And that's just me because, I don't know, you take your child's side. As horrible as it is, and I like Charlie Kirk, I didn't know everything about Charlie. I wasn't a massive, I liked him. I was a fan. I enjoyed his work, but I wasn't a fan where I know everything he's doing. I only see his viral stuff, right? But I don't know. I feel like you got to side with your kid. I don't know. I think there's
it's a weird one, isn't it?
It's a tough
Bob,
one.
what about you?
I'm not turning my kid in.
Yeah. I would have said, hey, you got a couple options here because they came out immediately and said this is death penalty, and if we get you, we're going to kill you. Which Bob can attest to this. That still takes about 20 to 22 years because of the appeals process and all the other fucking bullshit, and then you're in jail at 22 years old for the rest of your life. Let's say a Democrat comes in like Biden and pardons these people on death row because he doesn't believe in it. Then great. What does he spend the next 60 years of his life in jail? I think I would say you got one of two options. I love you. This is the last time I'm going to see you. Whatever the fuck happens and you decide to do, great. You want to go and take my gun and go blow your brains out in the back of the shed? Fine. Yeah. Go and do that. But that's pretty much your only two options. I can never talk to you again. And I'm going to have to disown you after this. And I don't know what the fuck you did. But, man, what a horrible thing for a parent also to have to make that decision about their own child.
Well, I guess two sets of parents lost their kids that day.
They did. And it's always like that.
Yeah.
And unless you were helping your kid and actively like, all right, cool, man, I'm going to give him the guns. That case up in Michigan, I thought, where those parents helped that kid get
I'm not familiar
they went to
with
jail. They went to jail. Yeah. It was the first time ever in the United States that they'd actually tried the parents for it, and they went to prison. Yes.
Wow.
They found text messages and everything else. But
well, there you go. You're complicit. Or if not, you're doing more.
They were, yes.
So, it's a horrible situation for the dad, I mean, to find this out. And I wonder what went through his mind. Like, is he connecting the dots? Is he going, oh, no, that's him? Because it's your son if you see the photo. Like, he's just got sunnies on or glasses on. Like, you can see past that.
Yeah.
He must have gone, that's him. I know it's him. But also, he was away at college, right? Was that the story?
Yeah, but was the father in a Utah police officer?
He was a sheriff.
Currently in Utah, though?
Yeah. They're from Utah.
Okay.
He went to Utah State in 2021 for a minute. So he's 22, so he would have been about graduating age.
Senior, yeah.
But I don't know, but I think he was maybe doing classes at like a community college or something like that.
But if the father detained him and turned him in, the kid clearly went home.
Presumably, yeah. Or called him to go out somewhere.
Right.
Like, hey, meet me here.
And all of us being parents, like, if you see a photo of your kid on the news, you're going to know right away that it's your child. Yeah. There's no debate of, like, whether that's my kid or not. The pictures of the FBI released were pretty clean, where you're just like, all right, yeah, I know who that is. So...
Yeah, I don't know. I feel it's just such a... Everyone wants revenge on this, and everyone feels so attached to it because so many people liked, Charlie Kirk.
He was probably the most famous conservative influencer there was.
Yeah,
besides, I guess, Alex Jones. But Alex Jones courts that controversy where, and I hate to say this, but let's say, because I'm friends with Alex, and I love Alex Jones. Like I genuinely think he's a good person, and he's helped us out a lot, just with advice and outside of the shows and stuff. But obviously the Sandy Hook thing he got wrong, but if it was him, I don't think any of us would have been surprised.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like that one, you would have been like, okay, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner, maybe.
Well, Charlie just looks like a dude who's just talking to college kids.
Yes. And he's having normal debates. He didn't even swear, for Christ.
Yeah.
I can't even go 2 sentences.
Man, it's crazy. And I think what we need to turn to after this shared grief by the population, which a lot of people have, because he was and I know a lot of people are like, why would you have so much grief? Well, this person's in front of your eyes all the time. You see them all the time. They're involved in your life in some way. Once it gets past that, we've got to go, okay, well, what happened to this kid that ended his life, ended Charlie's life? Was he the same kid that the parents sent off to college 3-4 years ago? Has he fallen into some sort of dark depression? Is he on antipsychotics? What's going on? Like, has he been indoctrinated in some way? Who knows? And I think that's something that we need to find out. Like, you look at this case and go, okay, something horrible has happened, but let's work out why.
Right. And me as a father, because you guys aren't there yet. Your kids are younger than mine. I have an oldest who is 11. And at that age, in middle school, they know, and they're sad about things and upset about things. And if ever I see my child upset about something, I'm like, even the other night, after a practice or whatever, clearly he was upset about something.
Yeah.
And he's a great kid. All my kids are great. And I just said, hey, buddy, what's bothering you? And he kind of didn't really want to talk about it. I said, you know what? Let's just go to dinner and talk about it. I just pulled over the car, found whatever restaurant was closest to us, and I just had an adult conversation with him. And I said, how do you feel about this, this, and this? And he was upset over a friend and a friend not being nice to him or whatever it is at 11 years old. And he's like, I don't understand, and all that other stuff. And then I had a full adult conversation with him in a dinner for an hour. After that, all smiles, back to being the same kid. And I just said, hey, it's going to happen throughout your life, and we're going to get through this. And also, if you ever need me the rest of your life, I am here for you. I don't give a fuck if it is 4 a.m. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're wasted or whatever it is. Like, I will come and get you. I will take care of you. I will always, always look after you. Please don't ever let any of these decisions or thoughts ever lead you to something like this, right? Also, with the Charlie Kirk thing, when it happened, we had done that show and then immediately left because I had to go and coach, I think it was a football practice or something like that. And racing home, got him. He's in the car. He's in the back seat. And instead of asking for whatever his favorite hype music is for the practice, he goes, hey, Dad, can you tell me about the Charlie Kirk thing? And I was like, oh, boy. I was like, are kids talking about this already? And he goes, yes, they are.
Yeah.
And I go, great. What do you want to know? I'll tell you what happened, why he was, murdered and all the other stuff. And
that's a hard one to answer when he says why.
It is. And I just said, here's what I said as a father. I said, there was somebody out there who disagreed with his beliefs or opinions on something. And I go, people will always disagree with you on beliefs and opinions. And I go, sometimes also, you're not going to know why this is happening. Or, are we ever going to get the story out of this kid who got caught? What was his name again, Bum?
Tyler Robinson.
Like, do you ever think we're going to get a full sit down with him of why this happened and everything else? I think you got a better shot of the father saying something just because he's a sheriff. And he's probably just crushed right now. But no, you're never going to think about it. And or you're never going to get that answer. And also, the time it takes to do something like that, like I watched the footage because they released that of him as well, going up to the rooftop and coming down and all the other stuff. And it's like, an hour can ruin some kid's life. That kid that got stabbed in Dallas, it was 15 seconds and your life is over. And you hopefully raise your children with the best
but even then,
beliefs and I didn't say, hey, take your time, consider these decisions, consider what's going on right now before you do anything like this.
I think that's not new, but it's much more common in men of the last couple of generations who are having kids or have had kids who are becoming adults in the next 10 years who are much more involved with their children. And I think that's really handy, and particularly with the internet and how it can mold minds. You need to have that stable figure there that you trust and will always tell you the truth. And if you don't have that, and not saying that this guy's dad wasn't that, but you send them off to college, and if you don't prepare them correctly to face, because every kid who goes to college gets faced with this question, it's like, why do you think like that when these are the right ways to think? And by that I mean the more progressive sort of politics. And it makes sense why kids are like that, I think, and why they sort of gravitate towards that, because it is like, everyone needs this and that, and we need to look after this and this, and that's nice. And it's that old saying that anyone who grows up, right wing doesn't have a heart, and anyone who doesn't get old and becomes right wing doesn't have a brain. That sort of old saying. You heard that before? Yeah. That's sort of what happens with kids. They are inherently progressive, and they get caught in this strange cycle in colleges and universities, and for some of them they get popped out as a crazy person who does something in not a snap decision, obviously he's planned it, and this happens, and then now their life's over, and for what?
Exactly, and I'll speculate on this one. So he was allegedly, according to a report, part of this young Democratic group that was on campus there, and they were having meetings and all that other stuff, right? I think that could happen on the right or the left.
Yeah.
Where people are having these fucking angry conversations with these people and then, oh, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this. And, well, I'm going to do something. One person decides to do something and they do it, right? And I think it's both sides. But that are probably having these conversations on campus or something like that. Yes, you hope you raise your kids to do the right thing. And at a certain point, though, there is nothing you can do. Your kid goes off to college. I'm sorry, but the sheriff in whatever town that is in Utah isn't with him every single day.
No.
He's not going to the meetings with him. He's not on the phone with him talking about, how was the Democratic meeting tonight or whatever. Like, it's just not a thing.
And even if he was raised as a Republican or a moderate,
I don't raise my kids in any form of politics.
Sure, but I mean that in that household.
Yeah, but my wife and I never ever talk about politics to our kids.
Sure,
ever, and that's the decision we made a long time ago.
Okay,
where I said, make your own decision.
Sure.
Because he asked, by the way, my oldest asked, and he goes, "Who do you like and why?" And I go, "Look, whoever has the best policies and decisions for our country and for us as Americans, great. But I also said, whoever the president of the United States is, we've got to root for the president and for us to be a great country.
Sure.
So whatever side that is, I don't really give a shit at the end of the day. And also, I want him to make his own informed decisions later on in life, because I don't want to be the parent that is jamming shit in his head so that by the time he is 18, he's like, oh, fuck, all right, well, my dad said this and this and this and this, because I do hear that from other kids already at 11 years old. And I'm like, man, why the fuck would you sit down and tell your kids that shit?
So I think that's why I lean towards taking the best from both sides and forming your own opinion about things, not being hard-lined either way. But yeah, going to college and getting caught in TikTok rabbit holes and algorithms and stuff, I think that's what goes on here. And maybe he's a part of some group and there's a group message and he thinks, I'm gonna be the one who's gonna stand up and make a difference, and I'm gonna so yeah. But also, who knows, it could be a completely different reason. Who the fuck knows?
It could be. And also, parents are going to make mistakes. It's just a fact of life. Like, you're either busy or doing something or whatever, and you'll miss something eventually. You're not always going to be there for the right thing. And I'll start with myself. A few weeks ago, God, we had a great guy on the show. It was a really fascinating show. It was John Dorsey, Bob. Do you remember that one? Yeah. Goob 2. He kind of went through the Roblox thing. What was going on with Roblox and the Predators and all that shit. And we were chatting about it afterwards. He's like, your kids have that? I was like, I don't think so, man. But also, I don't know anything about video games.
Yeah.
Like, I never really played them growing up, never played them now. I just was always working on something creative. And when I went home after that show, I went and checked their iPads, and my kid had it. And I go, hey, what's going on in here, and has anything inappropriate happened? And then I had to share the story with him and go over it and everything else. Well, let's say something bad would have happened, like because of my naivety or stupidity, whatever you want to call it, of not checking it or checking out this one particular game. Could something bad have happened? Potentially. But at least I was able to do the show and then go home and check and find out why and what was going on. But yeah, even as a great parent, which I consider myself to be, because I genuinely love my kids and my wife, and I am grateful for all of them, you're going to miss things. Yeah.
Well, you're human, and human error is there, but as long as you're trying to do the best by your family, then I guess that's all. But I guess that's relative as well. Some people think the best is very little, and some people think it's over the top. And I don't know. I mean, kids are now and will be in the future exposed to so many things that we don't know about, or we can't comprehend, and they couldn't comprehend what we were exposed to, sort of thing, that they might not have anymore, and our parents couldn't understand it. I think that's part and parcel. You just got to try and do your best to be there everywhere, over their shoulder occasionally, but without getting too much in their pocket. You want to give them the freedom to be human beings, but you have to protect them from the people out there that wish to do you harm. And that, since I became a dad, I think about it all the time.
I know. So do I.
It's horrific. And like in Australia right now, and I'd be interested to get your opinion on this, a lot of kids in daycare, they go in at 6 months old. Mm-hmm. There's been 3 or 4 pedophiles who have attacked kids, hundreds of kids, males who work in the childcare sector. And I got a lot of backlash because I just said, listen, I would not send my kids somewhere.
Well, when we say attacked, forgive me for interrupting you, are you saying sexually or?
Sexually.
Oh, gotcha.
And I wouldn't send my kids somewhere where there is a dude working in a childcare center.
Got it. So for here in America, where my kids go to school, for example, there's cameras in there.
Right.
So if my wife wants to tap into,
that's great.
Yeah, but I think that's probably going to be a new norm too.
But is there cameras? Is there cameras in the bathroom when they take the kids?
Well, yeah, you can see. Yeah, you can see them taking them into the restroom, and like they've got to fill out these sheets of like how long it took, what they did, everything else. It is all women.
See, I feel much more comfortable with that.
I do too, but there's also been instances where
there definitely has.
So
there was this one guy who I think it was somewhere around. He caught 300 charges or something. Like he had been doing it for years.
There's a ton in America. Yeah.
Horrific, and they're all coming out in Australia right now. And as a dad, you just go, I can't trust. And I know I've defended the whole thing, like not all men and all that type of stuff, but I can't trust men in that situation with my baby. Mm-hmm. It's a hard one.
I know.
It's a hard one, but I also there's a lot of women I wouldn't trust with my son. Most, in fact, unless I meet them and know them and get to, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
like
a tough one.
like Pamela Anderson. When I met her, I was like, great. I'm kidding.
Perfect. Well, she actually does seem like a very nice person
great.
now.
She's great. I'm just saying.
She seems great.
Got to be fun, you know? Man, at 14, 15, yeah. You know.
She's changed a lot.
No, she's great. I'm kidding. But, yeah, it's getting harder and harder. And I'll go back to the Charlie Kirk thing. We're not allowing our kids to have cell phones in middle school.
Fair.
And you guys will face this decision on your own as well. Bob, have you guys come up with an age or thought about it?
For what?
For a phone?
No. I mean, my oldest is 4, so.
So at 6, Bob, it'll start to happen. And here's what we decided. It was a watch. So at least a watch, we could find out where they were. And it was only allowed to text. And it was only allowed to text us.
Okay.
So we programmed in the numbers, and it was like, hey, if you're out somewhere and you feel uncomfortable, or you just need to come home, or you need food, or
whatever,
a juice box, or whatever the fuck it is, just get on the watch and type it in. But I didn't think I'd have to make that decision at 6 or 7 years old. So that's what we decided to go with for the future. However, when he was going to school yesterday morning, and he'd asked me about it in the car the night before about Charlie Kirk. I know a lot of his friends have cell phones.
Yeah.
And a lot of their fucking parents don't give a shit that they're on Twitter or anything else. And like, dude, you could find that assassination video
everywhere.
And
well, we found back in the day, I was in primary school, which is like up until about 12 years old, you're primary school. And we saw like Lemon Party and all that stuff back in the day. Remember Lemon Party?
Well, Bob introduced me to that.
That was before I walked in here. That's when I signed in. Look at this.
Throw it up.
Oh, right.
There you go. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Did you have this on cue, Bob?
Yeah. It's saved on the computer, yeah.
Hey, bro.
Takes me back to being 12 years old.
That freaked me out then because I thought...
Oh, you were 12?
Yes, yeah. I was young,
God,
but I was on the
damn
internet.
it,
Yeah.
dude. My kid's 11. This proves my point.
Yeah.
I was easily looking at like porn and shit when I was 12.
So here's where I'll date myself. We did not have the fucking internet,
Yeah.
dude. So I didn't have any of this shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I
we
love
didn't
how
have
this is
any.
just up now.
We didn't have any of these fucking problems.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Bob will leave it up the rest of the guys.
I thought that was a part of the live
I
stream.
don't want to
then.
finger.
Welcome to Drinkin' Bros.
I don't
right?
want to.
No, I'm fine seeing that. I love it. But
Yeah.
I thought that it scared me because I thought you put that up and it went straight to the live stream on YouTube. I was like, fuck.
No, they've been crazy.
That terrified me.
That's why I took it
going
down.
tomorrow,
I don't want to finger slip on the panel. And,
It was that and meat spin. That's what I saw when I was.
Oh my
about
God, we
12
did
years.
meat spin too, dude. We just did that the other day. We just did it on the other show.
And
But,
it
but
gets-
if you were 12,
Little Paint Olympics.
Pain Olympics,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah.
chopping up dicks.
We can go back to
and-
my childhood, about middle school, right around that
It
age.
was all middle school for you?
Yeah, I was right around
God,
that
that
age,
haunts
yeah.
my fucking dreams, dude. Now I got to worry about that shit.
Because I know you guys will hate hearing this, but I was born in '98, so right around the turn of 2010. So that's
Yeah.
right when I was entering into that time of getting curious and getting
All right,
on
well,
YouTube and
great.
checking
So,
shit out.
so let me ask you, because we have YouTube, obviously, but did they know you were watching this? Do they have access to your computer?
fuck no.
Okay. So how are you doing it then to get around them?
I literally learned how to write Mac code to get around the adult shit on my Mac laptop when I was a child, but I was smart and could figure shit out and had Google, and that was my problem.
There's 2 ways your kids are going to get around you, and they will get around you. It's just
Friends.
I
think it'll be
one.
friends.
Friends
yeah.
is one,
Yeah.
and that is the other.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but think about this.
They're always
They
gonna be
learn
ahead of you
skills that
on
they'll
tech.
use for the rest of their life. Because, I
know.
mean, that's, I'm good
Yeah.
at editing.
Hey,
I'm good at all
and
this stuff
here
now
you
because
are.
of it.
Yeah. I mean, your kids already make videos and stuff.
know.
There is no world in which you and Jesse will be able to stay ahead of them tech-wise in terms of, like, stopping them.
No,
Definitely not.
we were in University of Alabama. No, Auburn. Because we were Hardy F. Seltzers and all the Circle Ks, and so it's very important. If they sell out over the next 2 months, we pick up every single Circle K in the Southeast, like South Carolina, North Carolina, everything, right? It's like 4,000 stores or something crazy. And so my child was with me because I was taking him to the game that night. We had front row tickets at Auburn. And we were at the Alabama game earlier. And he goes, Dad, he's 7. And he goes, you got the Hard AF Seltzer in here, and where are you going? I was like, we got to stop by the fraternity house. Dad has to drop it off. Bob, it was the ATO house.
Okay.
Yeah. And he goes, can I help you carry it in? And I go, no, dude. I needed help because there was like 20 cases or whatever it is, and I was just like, because you have to do it in singles, and I'm like, fuck. And I go, no, let me see if anybody's here. Like, is this really gonna matter or whatever, And he walked in, had a fun time, but he directed me on how to shoot the fucking video for Instagram, and I'm just like,
there you go. Yeah, and they will be ahead of you on everything.
Yes,
like my parents had
yes.
no idea what I was looking at on the internet.
I know.
Well,
I didn't have it, so my parents didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
We did not have the fucking internet, so like they did not have to worry about it.
So,
and I also, by the way, had great parents, even though they were divorced. I think my parents got divorced when I was 2. Great stepdad, great dad, great mom, everything. So like, no bitch about my childhood whatsoever. Like, it was great.
Yeah.
So like, luckily, I was one of the lucky ones who could sit back and be like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, I'd go back to fucking high school and do it again tomorrow if I wanted to. Like, I don't have those regrets.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do. And that's another part of that too, where it's just like, all right, you have access to the technology. You're going to be ahead of everybody else. Divorce is huge. And then now you got all this fucking weird shit to deal with on a daily basis.
I think kids see these things and it doesn't affect them as much as it would have generations before. Like if you show someone in the 50s and they're 10 years old, the BME Pain Olympics, they're going to think that's the most horrific thing of all time. And it's going to haunt their dreams until they're an old man. But now kids see that stuff every day.
I watched the Mexican cartel chainsaw head cutting off video when I was like 9.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Like, yeah.
That's
Ryan,
crazy.
I was fucked up.
Ryan, Jesus Christ. How are you normal now? Or are you? Or are you going to
I'm
kill
better,
all of us?
but
and
I
wear
will
our
say,
skin?
I think it's led to a lot of people in my generation. That's why the Charlie Kirk video hasn't, like, it's been spread so fast because it doesn't affect us as much because we've kind of seen it or had outlets to see stuff like that a lot more prevalent. I mean,
that better
war
or
footage,
worse?
military footage, there's been a lot of that stuff. I don't know if it is either or, but that's just been something I've noticed.
Yeah, this is just a high-profile killing. I can go right now, spend the rest of the day without sleeping, watching people die in Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've literally woken up.
Or Gaza, or yes, 100%.
There's dead babies all over X every day
Yes.
from Gaza, and you're just
And
scrolling.
Why?
You're just scrolling. And you
Why
look
do
at
they
it.
allow it?
I don't know.
I like Elon Musk, but that shouldn't be allowed. I can't do that on Facebook. I can't do it on Instagram.
Well, the argument is, what do you and don't you allow? Like, if you're a platform for free speech, then you have to allow everything. But do you not?
18 and up. If you're going to show
Sure,
violence
sure.
or nudity or porn, because you can watch porn on Twitter as well. If you're going to do that, I think it's got to be 18 and up. And sorry.
Well, you let the marketplace decide. If Instagram's probably the most prude of the platform.
Oh, easily, yes.
And
yes.
It's also the most popular.
It is.
It still exists on there, though.
And I'm glad you brought that up. There was, after the show yesterday with Rob O'Neill, I was talking to Ray Kashkar, who is also a part of Navy SEALs with Rob, and I called him, and I go, hey, man, just calling to check on you. And he had like a quiet voice. And I was like, hey, man, what's up, man? Are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go into the other room. He's like, why are you calling? And I was like, we're fucking friends, dude. I was like, and he goes, yeah, man, but like on Instagram, you haven't liked any of my posts or, and everything. And I go, hey, dude, you're being shadow banned the fuck out of. And I go, that's actually why I'm calling you. Like, I was calling to check on you. You used to post all the day and happy, positive shit. And he goes, I am posting positive shit every day. So I sat there on the phone with him and I went through all of it. I just started liking all of this stuff. And it was the most positive stuff in the world. And it's like, what we're being shown, you're right, is something completely fucking different too. That like, if you're in the wrong algorithm, it'll cause you to create some fucking damage, dude.
Mine's all just buttholes at the moment, like on Instagram. It's just buttholes. It's like my wife used it the other day to try and find somewhere would take our toddler here in Austin. And she goes, what is going on with your algorithm, mate? And I go, I'm sorry, butthole guy. Yeah.
Are you?
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
Huge butthole. Yeah. Not a huge butthole, but...
Well...
mate, there's something
not a gaping butthole, but
no, I'm not
nice
into
little,
the prolapse, but like a little
me neither.
tight little thing. It's like
Short.
you just get.
Yep,
it's beautiful.
Boop. Hey,
we'll put a little camera in there.
Yeah,
it's like looking through like a peephole in a door.
It sure is.
Yeah,
I'm
beautiful.
here.
It's beautiful stuff.
Dinner ready? I brought wine.
Speaking of buttholes, I know you love the Hope Solo butthole photo.
Behind me,
is,
yeah.
of course, behind you. I remember the day that all came out on Reddit. I was about 14. I was watching all of that. Is the Fappening was what it was named? But
so Jennifer Lawrence and all those guys.
Yeah,
because there was a million celebrities.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And even that, God, that's how desensitized we are to all of that. Like, unless you bring that up, I forget about it. And I
Sitting right
don't
behind you.
Well, and I don't look at it, man. I mean,
Whose butthole is it?
Hope Solo, the world famous U.S. soccer goalie.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, she's won everything.
It's good to
She's
see.
the greatest goalie in women's history there.
Yeah,
so,
right.
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I mostly know her for that photo too. I don't know her other accolades.
Really? God, that's
yeah.
sad. She was the best soccer player ever. She really was awesome, dude. And she beat the shit out of her husband, who was a tight end for the Seahawks.
Shit.
Oh, yeah.
I
He's
knew
a
a
big
guy
dude.
that used to get beat up by his
He's
partner.
bigger than you.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Is he? Why not? Why could? Why? Come on. Cover up, right?
I'm not sure. I'm not
Surely
sure,
you can
dude.
just cover. I don't know. Well, my toddler beats me. How's this? He was jet lagged. I was trying to put him down into bed, and he wanted to be picked up and then go back into bed. And I laid him down, and he was very upset. And he threw his leg up in the air. It was pitch black in the room, and he chipped me front tooth.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he obviously didn't mean to.
Yeah,
But I was
yeah.
like, "What are you doing?" Mate?
One of mine clipped a ball in a pool, and I was like, man, am I going to fucking Lance Armstrong this shit because of my kid in the pool? Like, just clipped a nut.
Yeah.
Am I going to have to get it removed?
Oh,
And then I
right.
was like, where am I going to put it on set? Obviously, got to put it in a formaldehyde jar and show everybody.
There's plenty of room.
Oh, well, there's tons. On my side, it's all disgusting tax shit and everything. But yeah. Yeah, as you go forward with this, Australia doesn't have guns, right? Am I correct?
We had all the guns taken from us after a mass shooting in '96 called the Port Arthur Massacre.
Okay.
And this guy, without any military training, turned up at a historical site and I think it was 36 people, just took mainly headshots apparently too, which was strange.
Really? So
yeah.
was he trained?
No.
He was just...
So you're not allowed to talk about it in Australia. You're not allowed to talk about, like politicians have brought up that it might be a bit of a conspiracy and people just shut you down. They say that's
Really?
crazy. The media goes, this is crazy. Don't talk. They can't say that. How dare you say that?
So you can't have anything.
You can't find the conspiracies online unless you go to like the third or fourth page of Google. Because I love conspiracies, so I started looking into it, and I haven't been met with a ton of evidence because it's really hard to find. Like people just aren't talking about it. There was a point where people were talking about it a lot, but it's hard to find it. Like even if you Google Port Arthur Massacre conspiracy, not a lot comes up. It might be different now. This is about a year ago I was looking at it, but the conspiracy is that the government did it to take the weapons.
Yeah.
It was a false flag. The official story is that this guy was just a madman and took this rifle and just...
So how do you
took a
feel
lot of
about
lives.
that as a dad now and a husband, that you can't have a gun in your house in case...
It makes me sick. We can't even have pepper spray. Women can't even have pepper spray in Australia. God. My wife bought some yesterday at Target here because she was like, this is crazy. I can't have pepper spray here. We were at a gun expo in Florida years ago, and we were talking to this lady, and she said, so what do you guys do to protect yourselves? Like if you can't have pepper spray, you can't have guns. She goes, we just hope for the best and call the police.
Fuck, dude.
And, the police turn up, obviously. Like, the cops in Australia are awesome. They do a great job, as I'm sure they do here. But they're not there straight away. They're not there to protect you. Like, even last night at our Airbnb, this lady was screaming outside. She'd lost a dog.
Okay.
And, well, not screaming, but, like, yelling his name, whatever his name was. And I was like, shit, all right, what am I going to do here?
Hitler, where are you?
Yeah, and I said, I'm here.
I'm the third house on the right. Nailed it.
And I went outside. It was all wet. It was a bit dewy. Anyway, she was very upset, but I was a bit nervous. I was like, oh, God, I'm in a different part of the world. I don't know this. I don't have a gun. But no, everything was cool. But yeah, we have that in Australia where there is no one has a gun unless you are on a farm or to have a pistol. I'll use that as an example. You have to be a part of a pistol club. You have to go shooting at the pistol club every 3 weeks or 3 months or whatever it is.
Okay.
You have to have it locked up at the pistol club. You have to apply for a license every year or whatever it is. You have to maintain the license. You got to do this. You got to fill out.
But if somebody broke into your house, what do you do?
Well, I've got a baseball bat.
But that's it.
I've got some
Does the other guy
knives.
have a knife or a baseball bat? Like
Knife crime's huge in Australia.
Is it really?
Machete crime is massive in a place called Victoria near Melbourne. And what they did, which is such a great idea, is they have these big, the clothing bins you put like charity clothing into. Do you have that here in America?
Yes.
Yeah.
Goodwill.
Yeah, Goodwill bins. They had those installed for machetes. So you could drop your machete off if you didn't want to use it anymore.
No way.
Yeah.
I mean, speak of the devil.
Isn't that a great way?
No, a listener just sent me one, so I have one, dude. And
That's a great-looking machete.
Yeah, it's sweet, dude. It says Drinkin Bros, and then it's got my name on it, Ross
Wow.
Patterson here. Isn't that fucking awesome?
That
dude?
is really cool.
And that thing is sharp as fuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So, Daddy keeps that right here.
So that's illegal now in Victoria.
There's like 9 different guns hidden all over here. So yeah, I'll show you afterwards. But,
Yeah, please do.
But with that, I would be scared out of my mind every night. That you know.
Well,
I like. How do you protect your family with a fucking baseball bat?
The good thing is you don't have to deal with, well, you usually don't have to deal with guns from the perpetrator, which is positive, I guess, if you don't have it yourself. But we have a lot of security at our house, and we have plans in place and all that.
How is crime there then?
Good. It's not too bad.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
and
it's not too bad.
Do you think it's because of that? Maybe
No.
All right.
No, I don't think it's because of that, but I think we have such a small population too. 26 million people in a country the same size as America.
Well, it's Texas.
Yeah,
so the state you're in right now has
Exactly.
30 million people.
Well,
We've
there you
got
go.
4 million more than you do in your whole country.
Whole country. And it's a massive country. So it's all spread out. We live in a beautiful neighborhood where there's there's bikers that live down the road, but everyone's cool.
Yeah.
There's other parts of the country where there's a lot of crime, usually the cities, obviously. And unfortunately in Melbourne, it's where a lot of the migrant population lives. Don't know why.
Do you agree with that?
That
Australia should take migrants? And why are we calling them migrants? They're just illegal immigrants, right?
Well, they're not illegal in Australia because we're an island and we're we're a far way or journey away from anywhere. No one really comes in. Well, there might be a few, but no one really comes in illegally because you can spot them from a mile away. You see them coming. It's not like a border where you just walk over.
Right.
Like where you.
So you can see the boat in the distance, and you're like, all right,
Here they
there
come.
They are. Yeah.
Across the top of Australia, we have people stationed there with sonar, radar, whatever, just looking for boats. But most of these people get visas and stay in the country, so I guess they would be illegal at that point, right?
Sure.
Our problem right now in Australia is Australians, and by Australians, I mean anyone who lives there, regardless of their skin colour, whatever, wherever you were born, if you're an Australian citizen, then okay, right? Like we say right now, you're an Australian. You can't afford to buy a house because they are bringing in hundreds of thousands of extra migrants every year and not enough houses are being built to meet their demand, let alone the people in your own country.
And then the rental market's going up.
Rental market does the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. To get what we would call a shit box, a terrible house, in Sydney is like starting price 1.2.
Oh, God, dude. You got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
Canada's like that, too. When I was in Canada, I was just like, wait, what?
It's bad.
Yeah.
So, the migrant and when I say migrant, and I've made videos on this on YouTube, I really preface it by saying I'm not saying brown people. I'm not saying Asian people. There are a lot of people come from the UK. White people from the UK, from
shit.
America.
Okay.
Yeah. There's in Australia 26 million people. 1 million people born in the UK live in Australia. That's the highest population.
Are they getting out of there because of the shit they're going through over there?
Some maybe, but I think most of them have already been there.
Okay.
And it's just sort of like a cultural thing that they just come to Australia. I was talking to an Irish guy last night on 6th Street, and he's saying, yeah, so many of my friends live in Australia. They just go there. It's really strange. But a lot of these people who are coming in every year, of the 500,000 migrants or whatever, comes in 400,000, a large population are white. And you need to say to everyone in that group, there's too many of you coming in, white, brown, black, whatever. You need to let the people in this country already, thrive and flourish and work on their own country, help out the people that already live there, live on the streets, addicted to whatever.
I agree, because like for me, for example, if I came over to Australia and was taking jobs from people, you'd probably be like, what the fuck, dude?
Well, to get into America, like legally, it is insane. It took me 2 years, and I'm an amazing comedian. To get a visa here cost me like tens of thousands of dollars. I had to get lawyers. I had to do all this type of stuff. Man, and you can just wander into my country just because you're a fucking bricklayer.
Well, if you came through the southern border, you could get in pretty fucking easily. I think that's your own fault. Now, speaking of being an amazing comedian, I know you have a sound check. It's Vulcan, so I'll let you get out of here.
Mate.
What time is your show tonight?
8 o'clock tonight. So I do the sound check nice and early because I put the little man to bed before we go on stage. That's my pre-game hype, right?
Yep.
So I was talking to Uncle Laser the other day, and he's
one of my best friends. Yeah.
He's doing all he's drinking and he's doing whatever, having the time of his life. Yeah, doing lines, and and I'm in the dark going, that's what I'm doing. And then I walk straight on stage. So getting to do that, that's at 8 o'clock tonight. There's still a couple of tickets available at isaacbutterfield.com. So if you are in Austin, grab some tickets. If not, I'll be in LA next week and New York the week after that. But thank you very much for having me on the show.
Absolutely. And I think just haven't done this for 10 years on a daily basis for the last 6, I think. You were the perfect guest for the perfect day. I appreciate, like, beyond words, that you switched and recognized what was going on, and you were cool enough to do it.
No worries in the world.
Thank you. And also thank you to Ryan and Bob. They were supposed to have off today.
Yeah, good on you, Jen. Sorry about that.
Thank you. No. It's me. This is all on me. You're just trying to read the room, and I think having Bill Thompson, from Spartan Forge on and all that other stuff, and then having you on today was a perfect fit. And then the little man Jay, I'll apologize. Your episode will be on Monday, and then
Sunday.
Yes, Sunday night.
Sunday.
Yes, but for the Monday drive for a lot of our listeners. So yeah, they will have that Sunday nights at 8 p.m. EST. And please go and support Isaac tonight at his websites and go to the Vulcan. He's hilarious. I know we asked you to talk about some serious shit today, but that's what I love about you as a comedian is your balance, man.
I talk a lot on my YouTube channel. It's mainly serious stuff.
Is really fucking great,
and I pay a lot of attention to U.S. politics, and so when all this is happening, I'm like, I feel like I'm not as, I'm not on the same level as a lot of you guys, but at least I can stay up with the conversation.
And today's conversation was great.
Thank you, sir.
By the way, before we get out of here, we do this thing called Drinkin' Bro of the Week, which is someone who has inspires you or helps you become the person you are today. Who would you like to give the Drinkin' Bro of the Week to?
Oh, you did this to me last time.
I did.
You were
stunned.
I didn't have anyone. Uncle Laser.
There you go.
What a beautiful man he is. He got me a spot at Roscoe's Comedy Club. So,
did he really?
Yeah, he did. He did. Because I don't know anyone, so
best.
I'm just sending DMs to all the.
He's the best.
I know Laser. I've known him for a couple of years, but I'm sending all these clubs DMs, and no one's getting back to me. So Uncle Laser,
yes,
you're a beautiful man.
And by the way, he's just a really good person.
He
so
is.
Whatever you think about him, he's a genuine good person, and so is Street Gonzo. So thank you for being here. Go see Isaac tonight at the Vulcan. We appreciate you tuning in. Go to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. Also, head on over to Spotify. It's just a 5-star, and you can watch the video. We're going to put this out today since you were kind enough to hopefully help with ticket sales and all the other stuff for the weekend. So this will be available immediately. D'Anthony, appreciate all you're doing for us behind the scenes right now. I know he's not here, but we've been texting back and forth up until like 4 in the morning. So thank you for doing that. And keeping us safe and all that other stuff that you do. It's all the things you expect Dan to do, okay? Since he's not here, I'll still say it. For D'Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin' Bros podcast. Good night, everyone.